This is what your hair looks like after watching the A's all week. Bad week. Welcome to Telling It Like It Is. We're looking for a 5-2 week against two dead teams that we have now arisen like Lazarus. Uh, so not a good 3-4 week. Should have been 5-2. Seattle, who comes in hitting under 200 as a team for one of the first times in history this late in the season for any team, and we made them look like the 27 Yankees. And we can't get a hit. And Laureano goes out of lineup, and we have no spark. We just not a good look right now. The wild card is going to be a dream because AL East again keeps winning games, although the Yankees have sputtered a little bit back further. And of course, the NL Central is going to offer a wild card contender also. So we're going to have to win this division, and 6 of the last 9 are against the Stros, who seem to have our number this year. So this is going to be very concerning. Early in the season, we're stealing bases like crazy. And then all of a sudden we stopped. It's almost like a phone call came. Like yesterday we stole a base. It's almost like a phone call came and said, you know what, you're having success stealing bases, but we don't believe in that. It's kind of like, the word ideologue. I was telling history class to my students about what the word ideologue means. It's a person who's so stuck on an idea they don't even care if it works or not. We've all worked for people like that. In coaching, I've worked for some who would rather just bang their head on the wall with the same bad idea rather than think that maybe their idea isn't the best idea. Well, that's what we're doing in Major League Baseball right now. So we have guys who come up with a shift on them who are batting 200 or on the interstate, and they don't even think to lay down a bunt. Now, I don't know about you. I played all through high school and college, and if I came up to the plate hitting around 200 and I saw an opening, I'm taking it. It's not about my launch angle. It's about getting on base. Isn't everything today about on base percentage? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a bunt base hit is getting on base. Is it not? Or am I making that up? I'm not sure. I think it still is getting on base because I think that batting average is still the biggest part of on base percentage, is it not? It is. Do the math. So it's amazing that we just won't even think to do this. And there's been cries on the Oakland websites to get rid of Mr. Bush as the hitting coach. And I have to say, our approach does suck. I'd like to see Chili Davis back. But our approach is just bad. But we don't bunt. When we do this week, earlier in the week, we bunted to get second and third. We just didn't get it done. We're the worst hitting team with man on third, less than 2 out. We are just atrocious. Now I'll have all the Oakland A's fans who think like you're supposed to come on here and be like Gomer Pyle and just be really positive all the time. Well, we call it like it is on Telling It Like It Is. So if we're not playing well, we're going to call it out. We're just not playing well. So again, we got Garcia back up here. Like I said, we don't know who he has naked pictures of, but he's back up here. And yesterday, just another flat performance. Have a bad inning. Garcia drops a ball, and all of a sudden it's a 4-0 game. We get it to 4-2, but we don't do anything else. First and second, no out. We don't get it done. Bases loaded. Chad Pinder strikes out. Pitch out of the zone. Swung on a pitch before that down in the zone. It would have been ball 4, but we don't do that. So our approach is terrible. If we go around the infield, Chapman still not consistent, not going to get the big money he's looking for. This will be the end of Matt Chapman soon, and this his contract is up because I can't see. I love him, but I can't see giving that big money. He doesn't hit. He's not Nolan Arenado. I know that. He's just not. He's not Nolan Arenado. That's a fucking that's a great third base. Not these other guys. He's just not Nolan Arenado. So he's not Chris Bryant, who's struggling with the bat but coming around. He's not any of those guys. So we got we're gonna have to cut that cord. Olson's been pretty good, but his batting average is starting to lag a little bit. He's getting a lot of walks. And yesterday, Melvin decides to bring up Moreland, a lefty, against a soft tossing lefty, and he goes 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And he looked bad doing it. Sometimes you get a good at bat for a strikeout. He looked awful. But again, this is why my hair is like this right now. Looks like an egg beater. But this is what happens when you watch the A's. So now there's an awakened Seattle team that we got to go to today. And we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping it goes better than it did the last couple of days. But if you don't hit, you're not winning games. It's that simple. And again, there's a couple of teams who have big losing streaks, so ready to check out. We should go pick up some players, but we're not. We won't do it. We'll bargain basement shop and we'll pay $3 and we'll try to get a guy off the dollar rack, and that won't work. We need to go out and inquire about some of these teams that are ready to dump payroll after last year's really poor payroll year for all the teams. All right, so they all lost money. So some of them are going to be willing to get out a little earlier this year. Let's take advantage of that. Chris Bassett, thank God, saved our bullpen. Our bullpen had been leaking a little bit. The rest of the pen, I can't really complain about. We didn't have a lot of leads this week to take care of. 3-4 week and 7-game homestand against the Angels staff that was atrocious. We can't water if you dropped us out of a boat. The Angels pitching staff was disgusting. The kid yesterday with a 7 ERA, we don't take advantage of bases loaded, no out, 1 run in already. Just, incredible. And again, it's our approach. It's, I don't want to hear about deep counts. I don't want to hear about any of that crap. Can we get on base? Can you get a guy on base? Can we hit and run? 3 double plays the other day in a game. We don't hit and run ever. And again, like I said, early in the season, we're leading the league in stolen bases. And all of a sudden, a phone call must have been made. We're not allowed to steal. Well, if you can't hit and you can't steal and you can't hit and run and you can't bunt, what are we supposed to do? Sit there and wait for the 3-run homer? Well, that's great with Boog Powell and Brooks Robinson and Frank Robinson, but we don't have any of those 3 guys. Last time I checked, we don't have the 2 Robinson Hall of Famers or Boog. So I think that maybe we need to do something else. And we're missing Paul Blair also, all right, and Davey Johnson. So I don't see it. I don't see what we're waiting for or what the big attraction is. But we got to pick it up. This has been really bad. It's been a bad effort all along. And going forward, we got to get some games back here. Astros won yesterday. We lost, but again, they were playing the Padres and the Dodgers last week. We should have made some hay, and we didn't. And we were playing the Angels and the Mariners, and we didn't make hay. So that's going to come back and bite us. I know I'm supposed to be, Mr. Positive, but if you're playing well, that's one thing. But when you're not playing well, and with no energy, by the way, and you're not hitting running, you're not making any adjustments. We do need to make some moves. But, like I said, Garcia, he must have naked pictures of somebody, and Bush must have naked pictures of somebody not to lose his job, because we're atrocious right now at the plate. And we got to get Laureano back in there. He's the only one that seems to have a spark in any situation. So it's been a real frustrating week. And this week, like I said, we have a 6-game week. We have 3 with the Mariners, and then we go to Colorado, who the last 2 years has really thumped us pretty good. They've beaten us very well the last couple of years. We got swept by Colorado 2 different years in recent years. So this has not been good for us. Arenado is gone, but Trevor Story always seems to kill us, and Crawford always seems to kill us. So we really need to be better versus Colorado, and Colorado's about to sell off. So maybe we can inquire about Trevor Story for the rest of the season, or Crawford, or somebody who could get on base and maybe get a hit for us. So good to see Luzardo back. Pitched a clean inning yesterday, pretty much. So I think that's going to help us a lot. I'm just really concerned more about the hitting. Starting pitching, quality starts was still near the top of the league. But in the bullpen, like I said, it was leaking a little bit, but getting Luzardo is going to help a lot. But I'm still really concerned most about the hitting and the approach of the offense, not just the hitting approach, like I said, but also the approach on the base pass, approach of moving runners, launch angle. Great article a couple weeks ago about how Chris Bryant went back to his old style and got rid of the launch angle, and now Chris Bryant's putting up big numbers again. Launch angle doesn't work, and if you watch in the last couple of years, pitchers are pitching up higher in the strike zone. Now, I don't know about you, but a launch angle goes up. If I throw up, you're not hitting that thing anywhere but one place, up in the air. And if I throw it high in the strike zone, which is where a guy like Mike Fiers lives, who only throws 88 miles an hour, you're going to get guys out, and you'll see more guys pitching high in the strike zone than ever before. Which brings me to something, Fiers on the DL, by the way, but for a long time. But so I'm talking to some fan the other day who's telling me that Ohtani is doing things that no one's done since Babe Ruth. Well, this is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. Ohtani is a 266 lifetime hitter with a 5-4 record on the mound and a 3.71 ERA. What does that tell me? That tells me he's injured a lot. Best thing he's ever done is hit 22 homers in a season, which is a nice job. He's a very talented player. No one's saying he won't be a great player. But why do we constantly have to give the terms great and stud to a guy who hasn't done anything yet? Not only that, our offense beat him last week. So how good is he as a pitcher? Not that good. So again, 266. He hasn't done any of the things that great hitters do. Go hit 40 homers and bat 300. Then we'll talk. Do that for 5 to 10 years in a row. We'll talk that you're a great player. Mike Trout is a great player, not Shohei Ohtani. He's a great, guy who's like, got a great, little thing going on here. He's from another country. He's playing pitcher and hitting. Great. No one else has been allowed to hit and pitch since Babe Ruth. So when you say he's doing the same things since nobody since Babe Ruth, you're lost. Name me the other pitcher who's had the chance to do those things since Babe Ruth. I think there's probably been a bunch of people who could do that, since most former players pitched in high school. And most pitchers played the field in high school. There's probably some guys out there who could do both, but for insurance purposes and health reasons, they won't do it. But this guy is not a great player yet. He just simply isn't. 266 is not great. I don't care if he's at the top of the league in home runs. We're a third of the way through a season. That's not enough to say someone's a great player. Mike Trout is a great player. Albert Pujols was a great player. Okay. Miggy Tejada for a couple of years was a great player. Those are great players. Jason Giambi for a couple of years, great player. Jose Canseco, great player. Mark McGwire for years, great player. This guy hasn't done that yet. So when you argue with fans, it's like if they like a guy, he's great. No, you come on and you tell the truth. Just because my favorite player is my favorite player doesn't mean he's a great player and doesn't have faults. So please, let's take it down a notch with this garbage that Shohei Ohtani is a great player. Not yet, he isn't. Put up the numbers, and then we'll talk. Baseball is a game of numbers. It's very simple. Hit 300, hit 40 home runs. Fabulous year. Have 120 RBIs. Great year. Let me know when you do that. On the mound, win 20. Go 15-5, but under a 2 ERA like Jacob deGrom does. Well, he doesn't even go 15-5. Have a year like Jake. That's a great pitcher. Okay? Have a Max Scherzer year. Okay? Have some of the years that Hudson, Zeter, and Mulder used to have. Have those years. Those are great players. So again, don't give the title to a person until they've earned it. Not a great player yet. It's amazing how angry some of these people get about this. I'm like, no, he's not great. They're like, well, he throws 95 and he has a splitter. Who the hell doesn't? The average fastball in the major leagues is 93.6. Everybody throws a splitter. So what does that mean? Everybody's great? No, I don't care if you're like, you have your nice little, piece of the world because you are hitting and pitching, but he's not great at either one. Sorry, he's not. Until he is, he's not a great player. Maybe he'll never be a great player. Does he have great talent? Yeah, but how many guys have we seen with great talent who never did anything? We've seen a bunch. We need a 4-2 week on the road. I don't care if we're on the road or not. We need to be 4-2. We need to get back some baseball playing. It starts today at 4:00. And we need to be better than what we've been playing because we have been poop. Basically, the last week was a very bad week. We should have gained ground on the Astros and made the gap a little wider. They're playing the Padres and the Dodgers, and we're playing the Mariners and the Angels. No, you got to pick up some games, and we didn't. Signing off for this week. Let's go A's, 4-2. Take care.